Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to show you Denis Shapovalov, that backhand right there. Now, I know he's left-handed, but I reversed the video. This finish right here, I'm going to show you how to copy this finish on your one-handed backhand to hit much better backhands. Now, I know Shapovalov is left-handed. Do you see how that's in reverse, right? That says Welby's Wall, Indian Wells. This is Denis Shapovalov, and this is his one-handed backhand. And I just reversed the video so he was right-handed. I want you to look at this. I want you to look at this finish. This is called the left side of the letter V. When you are, if you're right-handed, and I'll show you lefty in a second here. When you're done hitting your one-handed backhand, I want you to try this finish. Where when you're done, you have the racket, if you're right-handed, actually off to the left of your hand when you're done. The strings when you're done will face up to the right. Every pro player does this in certain situations. Return of serve, when they're going to kind of be in trouble and they've got to be able to control the ball. Here he's hitting on the rise, so he's trying to give himself as much control as possible. And this is how you do it. You finish with the racket staying to the left side of your hand as you swing up. The reason this gives you a ton of control is because the angle he has between his arm and his racket, that angle right there is staying intact. So the angle he has here between his arm and his racket, and then go to the finish, and here, arm and racket, that is a very similar angle. Now, a lot of players say, yeah, well, notice here it's a little different and then it changes. I understand, but that's just because you can't do things perfectly. He's actually trying to keep the racket to the left side of his hand. So if you do that, you'll hit it just like him. You'll see his body is staying sideways. You'll see that his left arm, since I reversed it, it's his right arm really, but his left arm is behind him. But this left side of the letter V right there, this is the position I teach all of my one-handed students. You know, he doesn't finish like this a lot, right? A lot of times he's way over here and his strings are facing down. Well, that's Denis Shapovalov for you. He's allowed to do whatever he wants. But if you're watching YouTube videos, struggling with your one-handed backhand, keep the racket to the left side of your hand if you're right-handed. You can see him close the racket face. Watch his racket right here. Strings are closed. And because his racket's closed just prior to contact, then his strings face forward as he hits the ball, and then he keeps that wrist angle. So every single pro does this in certain situations. I can tell you every pro one-handed player does this in certain situations. I want you as the amateur player to try to do this all the time until you really learn and hone this position. And then you'll be able to use, you know, the more like Dimitrov finish and Gasquet and Federer, and the racket kind of flies off to the right a little more. Wawrinka is a great example of that, where the racket flies over here and the strings are facing down after they hit. Don't do that if you're struggling. Let me show you if you're a lefty. So here's the original footage. And here comes this on the rise backhand, steps in on it, gets the ball early, and look at his finish. So for you lefties, keep the racket to the right of your hand. That means the strings are facing up when you are done. Again, chest to the side. His right hand is going back. That's going to keep his body to the side, helps him track out toward the target, and then he goes back to the ready position. So practice this finish right here. Go out and film yourself. Film yourself just shadow swinging in your backyard or in your driveway or on the sidewalk. If you're right-handed, have your racket tilted to the left side of the V. And remember, if you're lefty, you'll have the right side of the V. Have the appropriate side of the V. It keeps your wrist firm. It keeps your strings facing out towards your target. There's no doubt when you use this finish, you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.